the full process for sketching a quadratic in 170 seconds. Let's go. Questions like this, guys, which involve sketching quadratics, come up all the time, and they're normally worth a lot of marks. Let's have a look at this one. The question says, sketch y equals x squared plus 8x plus 12. What are we going to do? Step number 1, we're going to find our x-intercepts. Step number 2, we're going to find our y-intercepts. Step number 3, we're going to find our turning point. We're going to put all of those on our graph down here and join them with a curve. Let's get it done. First of all, finding our x-intercepts, what are we going to do? We're going to substitute in y equals 0, and we're going to solve that quadratic. So what are we going to have? We're going to have 0 equals x squared plus 8x plus 12. Now to solve this quadratic, guys, we can factorize. We need two numbers which multiply to give our 12 and add to give our 8. That's going to be positive 6 and positive 2. So we can write this as 0 equals x plus 6 times by x plus 2. Now, guys, to find the solutions to this equation, all we need to do is swap those signs. So we're going to have minus 6 and or minus 2 as our two values for x. Let me write that in. X equals minus 6 or x equals minus 2. Now we can put those on our graph down here approximately. We're going to have minus 6 over there and minus 2 down there. Now, guys, how are we going to find our y-intercept? When it comes to finding the y-intercept of a quadratic, it's just going to be this number on the end. Why is that? That's because if you imagine substituting in x equals 0, both of these terms are going to go to 0, and we're just going to be left with y equals 12 when x equals 0. So we can plot on now our y-intercept of 12. Finally, guys, how are we going to find our turning point? One method would be to find halfway between the two roots of the equation, and then to substitute that value of x into our equation. But I'm going to do it by completing the square because that's my favorite method, guys. How are we going to complete the square for this equation up here? Step number 1, we're going to write out a pair of brackets. So we're going to have y equals, and then we're going to have a pair of brackets. We're going to write an x at the front. Then we're going to look at the number next to the x over here. It's an 8. We're going to halve that. That's going to give us 4. So we have x plus 4. Then we're going to write in our squared. We copy down that plus 12 from the end. And then we're going to subtract this number squared, the number inside the bracket squared. That's going to be minus 16. Now, guys, we can simplify. We're going to have y equals x plus 4 squared, and then we're going to have 12 minus 16. That's going to be minus 4. Now, guys, we can read our turning point from that equation by swapping the sign next to the number next to the x. So we're going to have minus 4 as the x coordinate of the turning point. We're going to have minus 4, and as the y coordinate, we're just going to copy down that number on the end, which is minus 4. Now, guys, we have our turning point. It's going to be minus 4, minus 4. Drawing that on approximately, let's put it down there. We have minus 4, minus 4. And now, guys, the moment of truth, we can join all of those with a hopefully smooth curve. How good are we going to be? Let's have a look. Hey, that's not bad at all. That's not bad at all. Guys, that is the full method for sketching a quadratic. Now, if that was really confusing, watch our previous few videos. We talk about finding the x-intercept, the y-intercept, and also finding the turning point.